Hey guys, we are now starting into May 1st. So what changes are there? Well, not a ton. I mean, we're still consistently going in the same direction, but I do have to brag on my team just a little bit because one of the changes we did have was an amazing month last month. We hit another record high last year. We ended the year on our high with 100 loans closed in 1 month. Me and my team. I'm the sole licensed loan originator in here, and I've got a team that's just amazingly kicking ass. You've seen all the people emailing you. They're on my website. Check them out, aaron.chapman.com/about. You can see the team members. We actually got some new ones we got to put up on there. So keep checking in on that. You'll see some of the new team members just doing what they can to serve and take care of you guys. Yeah, 134 transactions last month for a 15.1 million close. That was an amazing month. I appreciate everybody who has trusted us with your business, your future, to allow us to be part of that business. So, and to you too, that you guys are still moving forward, still building your businesses up, even though there's some unsure times. This is where it all comes from, guys, to really build it up. So, what's happened this week? The Fed has continued to keep buying mortgage-backed securities. Let's look at the charts. We're seeing some activity there. The Fed is keeping it pretty even. So right here is where the Fed started to kind of back off of it there, March 30th. Remember, we talked about Barry, who was on a couple of weeks ago, who had said that he reached out to the Fed. He said, guys, you may not want to do this crazy buying, which is they did here, got them to taper back, pull back, and be consistent. Look at how consistent we are with this. The consistent run keeps it in this channel. So our interest rates have stayed very consistent. Now, they're doing somewhere in the range of, I think it was $7.5 billion they purchased yesterday to keep it right in here, right? This was yesterday's purchases to keep it right in that trading range. Today, they're estimated to do $8 billion in purchases in mortgage-backed securities, keeping a steady hand at this. So that right there is definitely helping keep our interest rates where they need to be, but eventually they're going to taper off at some point. Now, what we've been told is the Fed is going to keep buying mortgage-backed securities as needed. That's the quote. So as needed to keep it here. So I think we're going to be consistent here for a while, but we don't want to get complacent and think that it's always going to be like that. We want to be sure that we take advantage of the situation we have now. And if we can lock within that window of time, we want to do that, but we want to be sure of the lock time frame. Because if we lock it for not long enough, it can bite us if the property's not ready to go. So another thing, Wednesday pending home sales we had pending home sales on Wednesday, down 21%, a lot more than was expected. So what's happening here? What's causing that? Well, the programs are tightening. We're hearing the big banks are saying, you don't have a 720 credit score or 20% down, you're not buying a home, right? Well, real estate investors are not experiencing that because you guys already have the 720 plus credit score. You're already putting 20% down. So you're already in a position to get financing. You're not going to get bit by that. So that right there is really good news for people who have just put yourselves in a position to continue to be better positioned to purchase. So just know that we're not seeing the big hit to the real estate investors. The people buying houses to live in, they're seeing the hit. They're taking a beating on that respect. Also, people aren't shopping for houses right now, right? They're hunkering down in their homes. So another thing I found interesting to look at is the unemployment before COVID. Before all that hit, we're at about 164 million people had jobs. About 5.7 million were unemployed before this happened. So then you start taking the cumulative unemployment claims week after week after week. That puts us about 34 million unemployment claims cumulative have happened since COVID. Now you got the continuing claims of about 26 million. And you figure out some of them may not be getting unemployment anymore because it only lasts so long, right? So those who were previously unemployed before COVID, now during COVID, now we got to take some accounting there, and Barry and his team sent out some information about this. I was watching it today where they're calculating it. So we're showing their estimates between people who are still unemployed that may not be getting benefits to those who are possibly went back to work. They're estimating about 27.9 million unemployed with 17% rate of unemployment. Very interesting to consider where that is and what the end result's going to be for that. It's hard to say, but I think that the real estate investor, in my personal opinion, is still going to continue to capitalize because people need a place to live and they want to live in something better than where they're at now. Forbearance still is a topic. I've seen an article come out where the FHFA and leaders of Fannie and Freddie are saying, "Hey guys, it's not all just going to be the pay up front, right? After the 4 months or a year, you don't have to pay it all back right now. We have other plans." Yes, they have other plans. One of those plans that they mentioned several times in that article was to do some sort of form of modification. We've already know what modification is going to do. There could be some pain there. If you need it, you need it. I'm not saying don't take it if you need it, but if you don't, it's not a tool to enhance your world. It just won't work out that way. Dr. Barry, again, to reference the man, came out this morning with some data where they were digging through Fannie Mae's what they call their master service agreement. And when he was digging through it, says there's a piece of clarity that needs to be had. They're not 100% sure on this, but it looks like for one, they're looking for the numbers are going to be way bigger than what they anticipated. They're now anticipating 15% of mortgages to go into forbearance, and that's mostly owner occupied. Right now, we have blown past their first estimate of 4%. We're pushing 7 right now. So there is that worry, of course. And then, of course, with the master service agreement needing some clarification, they said that it kind of reads like anybody who's in forbearance needs to, one, pay it all back and bring it up to date, but then may risk having to go 12 months with clean payments before they're allowed to get another loan. Now, again, that may not be the fact, but there's something in there kind of looking like that. So they want to get that clarified. They want to know for sure that is the case. So just know that might be looming around out there. We're going to find out. He's digging into it. We'll get to know about that. So I appreciate you guys always tuning in and listening. And we're going to get this up on YouTube. We're going to have a link for it, so you can go in there and you can subscribe. We'd love to have some subscribers to keep more information coming out to you, so we don't lose it. Have it all available out to you. Check out the shirt. Be better, do better. Comes from my friends out in Oklahoma. Table Investments. They're doing an awesome job out there, and I 100% subscribe to that. One thing that was been said by a good friend of mine, Josh Kohler, he says that, and he could have got this quote somewhere else, but bigger does not always equal better, but better can most often equal bigger. So it's kind of an interesting thought process, that we can't just grow to grow, that we have to actually get better at it, and we grow because we're better at it. So I appreciate them, hooking me up with the shirt. And then to those of you who are dealing with a lot of calls and a lot of strain, I mean, people are looking for a person to lean on right now. There's a lot of difficulty in the world right now, and you may be that person where you're getting calls a lot and texts, and people coming to you for strength. I want to give you something, because it's really tough sometimes to take that on. Sometimes it feels like you're really taking a beating when people are calling you like crazy. And, and I've accustomed my lifestyle to be constantly on the phone. I get thousands of texts each month. I can't remember how many tens of thousands there is. And probably 15,000 minutes a month I put on my phone talking to people. And a lot of it is to talk people through the struggle that's happening right now. And for those of you that are having to carry that burden, there's something I stumbled across years ago, and I shared with my team today, and I think that it's definitely worth sharing again, especially everybody who may be battling this. And it was, it's anonymous. Whoever created this quote didn't put their name to it, but it was in the Anglican Digest is where it came out first. And it says, when you're exasperated by interruptions, try to remember that their very frequency may indicate the value of your life. Only people who are full of help and strength are burdened by another person's needs. The interruptions which we chaff at are the credentials of our indispensability. The greatest condemnation that anyone can occur, and it's a danger to guard against, is to be so independent, so unhelpful, that no one interrupts us and we are left comfortably alone. So think on those words and have yourself a great weekend.